Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all having a great day. Thank you for leaving a like. Likes are very much appreciated. Likes help out the channel a lot and they're free. And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. In very popular news, Jack Dorsey is back in the space. He's been popping up a lot more than he did the last couple of years, because he kind of like disappeared for 2.5 years, and now I guess he's back because of the entire bull run thing. Jack Dorsey, co-founder of Twitter and prominent, he's Jack Dorsey's not a Bitcoin advocate. I think he's like the final boss Bitcoin maximalist. Shared his bold predictions for the future of Bitcoin during a recent event in Tuscany. Dorsey believes that Bitcoin is on the brink of transitioning from merely being a store of value to becoming a widely adopted permissionless currency in the West. According to Dorsey, the shift is expected to unfold over the next decade and a half, gradually changing public perceptions and demonstrating the system's inherent value. Yeah, we've been getting a lot of really good, optimistic where Bitcoin's going in the future kind of news. A lot of people are predicting, of course, Bitcoin's price going a lot higher, how high that it has to go in order to pass by gold, how high it's going to go over the course of this bull run, and what the next steps are for Bitcoin as it inches ever closer to the $1 million Bitcoin. Jack Dorsey tends to be Jack Dorsey, Michael. I mean, no. I'm going to put Jack Dorsey in his own box. Michael Saylor has said some really weird stuff recently, for those of you who missed it. He was saying that he wants the US to own all the Bitcoin, or the majority of Bitcoin, which destroys the entire idea of decentralization and, you know, the rest of the world also sharing in the literal wealth. But sure, Jack Dorsey is one of the, I have no idea what he believes in, but I know his Bitcoin stuff. He's one of the very few people in this space who I actually like believe. It's basically him and Vitalik Buterin. Because Vitalik Buterin, if you've ever watched him like talk to people, there's no filter. Like he just literally like, he tells you exactly what's on his mind in that very moment. Yeah, I mean, nothing too crazy, if you will. This was very popular because it's Jack Dorsey. Anytime that there's any kind of an endorsement for Bitcoin, it's going to make popular news, and it's by, once again, the Bitcoin maximalist. And I think also the idea of where Bitcoin's going over the course of the next couple of years is also quite fascinating. Getting into the market years ago, I could have never foreseen that we'd be where we are right now, and even more so. All the news that we keep getting about accumulation and just normal everyday people not participating or being in the market, or even people in the crypto market just not paying attention to any of the good news, could not have foreseen any of it. The expectations still are, the price predictions still are, for those of you who've been missing it, is that by anywhere from 2029, 2030 to 2032, talking about $1 million Bitcoin. So, you know, that's heavily in the news. We had something recently as well where a bunch of crypto people got on stage. I forgot what it was. And they were talking about price predictions as well. And those were also in the millions of dollars, and $13 million and $28 million per coin over the course of the next couple of decades. So yeah, I hope people are paying attention, because there's a lot going on and the whales continue to accumulate, and a lot of people keep pretending that none of this is actually going on. We also just had news as well from one of the analytical companies about the amount of Bitcoin that's being purchased and the amount that's being taken off of cryptocurrency exchanges. And every single time that coins are sold, they are nearly immediately purchased once again by whales. And also we had news about addresses who have never sold. Yeah, addresses that have only purchased Bitcoin and have not sold any, and probably will not do so for a very, very, very long time. Tying lightly, I don't know, into this news, other people are talking about where Bitcoin's going to go. This made very popular news, I guess because of the time frame. I'm not really sure. This person on Twitter went over a 13-year trend for Bitcoin, where prices have gone, how high they've gone up, when they've gone down, and yada, yada, yada. This is mainly another kind of mirror reflection of what we've been hearing quite recently. For those of you who have not been here the last year, 99% of analysts are all saying, I mean, it depends on how extreme you want to get. This guy believes that Bitcoin is heading for $200,000 over the course of this cycle. And this is typically the number that we're also getting. We're usually getting 200, 250, maybe a 300,000. I've told you that a couple of other times before. It is quite nice and lightly refreshing to see a lot of the analysts coming to like the same exact number over and over, because before, during other bull runs, we've had crazy variances in numbers and where people thought things were going to go. But it's nice to see that like everyone's kind of on the exact same page. So these are the numbers that a lot of people are basically expecting. A lot of the bigger bulls, if you will see exactly how right they are expecting by December of this year to have a $120,000 to a $150,000 Bitcoin, with the more bullisher Plan B declaring in the next 3 to 5 months having a $150,000 Bitcoin. Yeah, it's very nice to see all the optimism, people throwing out these nice numbers, all coming to the exact same conclusions, and seeing that whales continue to buy. I wish sincerely the best of luck to everyone during this bull run, because it's going to get quite intense. I hope that you've had the opportunity the last year to buy all the coins that you wanted. There's always tons of people being like, I need prices to stay down lower. They will not stay down forever. So I hope over the course of the last year and some change that you were able to accumulate all the coins that you wanted, because the market waits for no one. That's the Jack Dorsey and six-figure Bitcoin news. And yeah, let's move on. I was shocked because this did not make popular news. I saw this, I think, on one or two different places. Typically, any time there's Ripple or XRP news, it is like popular. This one, it seems like everyone just kind of forgot about it or didn't even know that this news came out. Ripple, the company, has disclosed that their payment platform, which leverages XRP for cross-border transactions, has expanded into 80 different markets and countries. Usually, if we get news that they partnered with a piece of bread, everyone goes crazy. If we hear that they're working with 2 companies at a time, people go nuts. XRP goes up by 5% that day. Whoa, a piece of bread and 2 companies? They announced that they're working with 80 markets in 80 countries to send money around the world using XRP. Okay. The company shared this update in their latest publication, which explored why crypto liquidity is essential in today's financial landscape. Notable XRP community figure Chad Steingraber highlighted the development in a recent post on Twitter. He said, "New! Ripple stating that the payments platform has increased to more than 80 different countries. Hashtag XRP." Here's a little portion of the tweet right here. I looked around. I found the actual information. It's right here on their website. Yeah. Maybe it's the effect of the market. Maybe people wanted something bigger. I don't really know. In my viewpoint, so much of the cryptocurrency market is just incredibly blasé right now. It's not that people don't seem interested. We had something about 3 weeks ago where we got information that apparently retail investors, like everyday normal people, are kind of like yawning at the market. Usually, these are the people who jump into the market to try and make quick, fast, amazing so-and-so money. They're the people who like push the market up. They're the people who FOMO the heaviest to bring us to brand new all-time highs But for some reason, no matter, I mean, this happens every cycle. No matter what news we get, it typically doesn't have any like major effect on the price. But you would still assume that people within the space who love these coins would have had a very different viewpoint and or feeling about it. But yeah, Ripple continues to expand. I'm very glad they took my advice like 6-7 years ago. They were, I mean, most people in the space now are sycophants. Basically, the term we would use when I was younger is brown noser and or a toe kisser, ring kisser, sycophants. Ripple really, like years ago, they were trying their best to like engage with US companies and stuff like that. And then the lawsuit happened to them. And I was like, just go overseas, go anywhere else. And now they're working with 80 different, countries and markets and other institutions and stuff like that. But I think no matter what the coin is, regardless of how good the news is, if there's no like pump in price, people kind of, okay, wow, that's awesome that they did that kind of thing. But XRP and Ripple, I still don't know. And at this point, I really don't care for what your answer is. I sincerely don't. This is probably like one of the best things and the most like grown in the cryptocurrency space. Bitcoin is Bitcoin. Ethereum's the most used chain on the planet, but you cannot, besides Bitcoin and Ether, you cannot name any other coin, any other company that has as many partnerships as Ripple does. You cannot name any coin that is being used in 80 different markets around the world to send money cross-border. You can't. Like no matter how hard you try. And I know that there are other coins that announced years ago that they were maybe going to do something with other countries, and they announced it like they said we might be doing something, and then it never happened. That's happened across the board. Ripple's the only one who continuously keeps telling us, hey, new country, new so-and-so, new blah, 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 new this, blah, 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 blah. They're by far anyway, not to sway any votes, but if you're looking for like strength in the market and around the world, people conflate coin prices with like how well a company is doing. You are literally missing out. Like they've done everything that they said they were going to do times 10. Like they're working with not even this, like they're also working with world banks, for those of you who missed it, multiple times this year. And like we know exactly which countries as well. The countries are trying to still create their central bank digital currencies or their stable coins. Guess where they're building it? They're building it on top of the XRP blockchain. So you can be ignorant if you want to. That's the Ripple is currently working in 80 different countries and 80 different markets. News, you cannot name any other coin doing that. Because they don't exist. Like cool. Let's move on. Also, and I expected this to be big news, I think the cryptocurrency market has shifted so much that like good news is completely overlooked. We've been talking about that the last couple of videos. People are ravenously obsessed with any kind of negative news, any kind of sadness, anything bad or fearful, anything with Mt. Gox, anything with moving coins, anything with selling, that people are, for one, people keep forgetting the actual point of crypto. And it's not my point to try and convince you, but you are going to lose in this market if you're not paying attention. If you are not paying attention to decentralization and fairness and openness, you are going to lose. I don't know how to reframe that, to reshuffle that in any sort of way. It is a very important metric of your coin's success. The reason why Bitcoin has succeeded, it's because it's everywhere in the world. It has literally permeated to every single continent, except for the ones with the penguins, but like it's literally everywhere. Every coin needs this. So when there is good coin news, I'm like, okay, cool. Everyone else is, people will get more informed. Nope. It's the exact opposite. Cardano investors and retail wallets. Retail wallets are everyday normal people. Cardano investors and retail wallets collectively hold over 91% of the ADA supply. Do you know how incredible that is? That these coins are made for the public. Regardless of how many of you continue to kiss the feet and the toes and the rings of I don't care who they are. All these rich people getting into the space trying to get your attention when all they're doing is lying to you. They don't need the coins. You do. The world does. It's how we get to another brand new system. It's how the cryptocurrency space expands and becomes fair for everyone, because the current economic system that we have is unfair. Can we all agree on that? I know one person just said, no, go sit in a corner somewhere. You all know that the system that we currently have is terrible. And crypto lightly makes it so that we could live in a world where everyone has crypto. They can deal in money as they see fit. The money is theirs. And they have some kind of economic security. 91% of the entire supply of ADA being in the hands of everyday people is something that should be celebrated. 91% of all Bitcoin is not in the hands of retail and everyday people. It's in the hands of whales, mainly because of manipulation and scare tactics and these people buying up, egregious amounts of Bitcoin. 91% is fantastic. Much larger than the proportion held by whale addresses. This is according to on-chain data sourced by blockchain analytics resource Into the Block. Notably, the platform's historical concentration metric divides Cardano holders into 3 tiers of addresses. They are whales, retail, and investors. Whales refer to addresses holding more than 1% of Cardano's circulating supply, or that's a lot of ADA, or at least 359 million ADA. Investors are addresses that hold between 0.1 and 1% of coins. Meanwhile, the retail addresses hold less than 0.1 of the circulating supply. Data confirms that currently, whales hold only 3 billion ADA, representing a mere 8.47% of Cardano supply. However, investors hold over 2 times this figure, amounting to 7 billion ADA, or around 19.89% of the supply. How Charles Hoskinson isn't talking about this is mind-boggling. How people who are into Cardano aren't sharing this information is insane. You want to talk about decentralization? You want to talk about your coins being evenly spread out amongst the masses? This is fantastic. This, I won't lie to you, this makes me want to buy more Cardano. Because it makes me understand that Cardano actually has a future. It's the community that owns the supply. If this number was 51%, we would also be celebrating. 51%, because there's no coin like that. Whales hold the majority of nearly every single chain. But once again, that's because of over the course of years and different cycles, whales have continuously bought up any coins that were sold. That means that for Cardano, the moment someone sells, normal people are buying up those coins. This is a fantastic metric. This is absolutely incredible, because then it also basically, leads us to if, and I say a gigantic if in 2025 there is a Cardano ETF, the whales don't have a lot to buy. 91% is in the hands of people who really believe in the project. It's crazy whenever we get good news and it's just not promoted anywhere. People pretend it's not there. I don't really know, but I know everyone likes to be afraid and scared and sell off all their coins and be horrified all the time. But if you know, this is like, last thought. Cardano doesn't get a lot of promotion. It gets a lot of like hype motion. Much of what the Cardano team does and what Charles Hoskinson does is, and I told you this before, they talk about when an upgrade or update is going to happen, and they don't do it until like a year and a half later. They always wait for something hypey to happen. Cardano feels like it has enough momentum to actually do something, but like nothing is happening. You understand what I mean? Like I feel like they've turned the key to open the door. They open the door, but they're kind of like a crypto vampire where they just can't enter until someone like allows them to go through the threshold. This is such a major project. Like there hasn't been, I think in 2 years, any type of Cardano partnership news or anything like we have never heard Cardano is the Cardano Foundation is working with 80 countries or markets. But I feel like they're almost there, but all we get is like, this is real as well. Someone said something bad about Charles Hoskinson and he went on an hour-long rant on his YouTube. He just recently had a whole, I don't know what is going on. He had a whole thing where he was arguing with the people about XRP and it was calling them names. He recently said something where he thinks that people that people from Ethereum stole Cardano from him, like the idea, and it's like Ether came out years before Cardano. It's like this really weird, like there needs to be like 3 new figureheads or like ambassadors, like big ambassadors who are the people who do social media for Cardano. There needs to be like Cardano specific, like they know everything. They can tell us everything. It's kind of similar with Vivi. I don't know how many people follow Vivi and stuff like that on Twitter. Like they have like ambassadors. So like if anyone is spreading misinformation, these people know what's going on and they stop it immediately. They constantly post about like actual updates and upgrades and what they mean. So much of what we get from what I'm seeing from Twitter and from the news is always just like Charles Hoskinson being like, yeah, we're going to get this upgrade and we're going to have decentralization. That's cool. Like, what's the next step? I feel like Cardano is so close to being something. That's why I said before, I think Cardano maybe has like 1 or 2 cycles left and then it kind of disappears. It's a huge chain, 91%. That's fantastic. That means that the community is holding this coin. Now they're just waiting for like, do something with the project. Yeah, sorry for ranting, but it's like, you're almost there. You're almost there. Just do something now. Announce partnerships. Go to different companies. Go to different countries. Literally, how many countries are looking to get into crypto right now? Be like, hey, you're using XRP for your payments. Use us for your supply chain. Use us for your this. You have, a huge tomato market. You have a huge potato market. Run all that information on the chain so that Cardano is also being used. It's so, you understand? Like, it's so odd. Where are the ambassadors? Anywho, that's the Cardano news. I got a bit off tangent there, but like, come on, do something. Like, I'm like poking it. Like, you can do great things. Just do them now. Okay. Oh boy, out of breath. Let's move on. Also okay, I wasn't, okay, sure, yeah, go for it news. The University of Wyoming. The University of Wyoming is set to launch the UW Bitcoin Research Institute in August, which aims to provide high-quality, peer-reviewed studies about Bitcoin. This I actually like as well. I want people to be informed. I love how many students are looking so bored as a literal letter B is standing on stage. This letter B doesn't have a mouth, but it's talking into a microphone and people are like, That's what the market feels like most of the time. I feel like if I was sitting in any university, anything, and a gigantic letter B walked on stage and started talking into a microphone with no lips, I would be mortified. I would take out my phone because I need the rest of the world to see this. The University of Wyoming is going to be launching a Bitcoin Research Institute in August. Bradley Rettler, a Bitcoin activist and associate professor at the University of Wyoming, announced the new institute on Twitter on the 28th of July. He will serve as the institute's director. Rettler described the current state of Bitcoin research as poor and stressed that the industry needs more high-quality, peer-reviewed publications to ensure the public is properly informed about what Bitcoin is and how Bitcoin works. This is incredible. This is something that should be happening everywhere. I don't understand why more of these things aren't taking place. Why isn't there more of an initiative to let people know what Bitcoin is? If Bitcoin and crypto take off, wouldn't it make the most amount of sense to have, teaching this to university students, to high school students, so they have a literal leg up over everyone else who is also moving into this more Bitcoin-y kind of world? A lot of the information about Bitcoin is misinformation. There was so much misinformation and lies about Bitcoin from 2010 to around 2019. We've gone over it. All the millionaires and the billionaires who kept on saying all these terrible things, they know that it sells. And a lot of them are still saying it, or they said it before, and it keeps popping up in the news. No one's actually reviewing or looking any deeper into Bitcoin. It's the same exact thing. A couple of years ago where Elon Musk, whatever company he was, was accepting Bitcoin. He said, I won't accept Bitcoin anymore until Bitcoin's mining is 51% green. Bitcoin is far more than 51% green right now, but no one talks about it. No one's holding anyone accountable. No one's be like, hey, dude, Bitcoin's green now. Start accepting it again. But Elon Musk, weirdly, it's very Elon Musky. He's also been shunning Bitcoin the last couple of months, and it's I still don't get how anyone is following him. I legitimately do not understand. This university professor highlighted a study in 2018 led by the University of Hawaii professor Camilo Mora that claimed Bitcoin emissions alone could increase global warming by 3.6% and or 2 degrees Celsius by the year 2048. He said, and I quote, they failed to account for the difficulty adjustment and didn't know there was a block size cap, or that more people were incentivized to also go off grid to also make their own Bitcoin with renewable sources. When you have renewable sources, you don't have to pay the grid. You are basically taking sunlight and wind power, and you have your own renewable source so that you don't have to pay an electrician, so you keep more Bitcoin for yourself. Most of Bitcoin mining is green. Even more so, here's something else for you to actually look up. You know that the world right now, the electricity grids, because of the additional computer and resource usage for AI, the current systems, the current grids are already buckling. But you know who's not talking about that? The governments or the billionaires like Elon Musk who stand to benefit from it because they don't actually care. They say these things out loud, making sure that you are scared. One of the main things for Bitcoin, if you weren't here years ago, one of the main things for Bitcoin years ago was how terrible it was for the environment. And then all these people came forward and they were like, yeah, it actually, it's producing a lot of, X, Y, and Z. So they said, let's make it greener. But no one talks about that stuff anymore. Remember all the things before that Bitcoin's used for criminals, Bitcoin's used by this, so and so and so. Where are those conversations? Because now it's been adopted by the billionaires. So if you get a chance to look into it, AI currently, the extra usage of computers is causing electricity grids around the world to begin to buckle. They're literally starting to have problems, and we'll need in many places a brand new system of power in like new updated systems just because of the AI that we have right now. Isn't it weird that it's doing exactly what they said Bitcoin was doing in 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19? And no one's talking about it. Look it up. Look it up. The world's a mess. Like, the world's a literal mess. Like, these people are actual criminals. You can sit here and tell people that Bitcoin is terrible, Bitcoin's awful, Bitcoin's for criminals, Bitcoin's ruining the world. And then you look at what they do, and it's literally everything they said about Bitcoin. So, anywho, I look forward to whatever peer-reviewed studies that they have about Bitcoin, all the things that are going on about the electricity usage, how many people are using it, because it helps, because it demystifies this like weird thing for a lot of people. As I said before, tell more people about Bitcoin. Tell more people about, like, send people these videos. Let them know what I'm talking about. Because so many people get into the market and they're so afraid they don't know what to do. And then they buy garbage like Solana because they don't know where else to go. They don't understand. You understand how crazy it is? The news that we get every day has Bitcoin in it somewhere. And there's still people in the crypto market now who don't own Bitcoin, who don't own, like, they refuse to understand that, like, this is literally the future. But they'll buy other stuff and continue to get rug pulled because that's the cool thing to do now, I guess. I'm not really sure. People are crazy. It's so absolutely ridiculous. I don't understand. That happened years ago. This was like 2021. I was asking people in the comments, I was like, how many of you don't have Bitcoin? And multiple people were like, I don't own any. I don't own any of that. And I was like, what? This is all the news is constantly about Bitcoin. How don't you own the thing that everyone's adopting? After the ETFs came out, I'm not owning any Bitcoin. It's like, do you want to be broke? Like, are you not? What happens if Bitcoin hits $1 million? I know. Listen. Don't have altcoin conversations with me. The point of the idea of Bitcoin hitting multiple millions of dollars means that a lot of altcoins have collapsed, and their money has been squeezed into Bitcoin because people realize, crap, we're in the wrong chain. Anywho, I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you got something from the video. Hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever the heck you might be. I do hope it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.